Well, welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs, the show that continuously streams stories of entrepreneurship and how people are dealing with the economy. And for 7 years, our weeks and days start with the Marc Z moment with the fabulous Marc Zwetchkenbaum, president of Marc Z Legal Staffing. Welcome back, Marc.
Jeff, great to be here. Good to see you.
Well, Marc, there's so much going on in the economy. We're winding down now to Thanksgiving, the end of the year. I think a lot of people are planning for their businesses. I don't even know what the topic is today, but I'm going to tell you, every day people tell me about recruiting problems. It seems to be the biggest problem. It's not just finding people, it's finding the right people. Someone told me yesterday, if the person has a pulse, they're going to be hired. I'm interviewing them tomorrow. I'm hired and they don't carry a gun. I'm going to hire them tomorrow.
I wouldn't like to say that. But I would say that employers are being a little bit more flexible than they had in the past because there's just not the talent available. There are a lot of factors for that, Jeff. One is, especially in the professional services field, one is that a lot of people, especially mid-level managers and upward, can work remotely now. And sometimes that remote can be complete remote. Sometimes that position that a lot of employers were looking for in-state is now out of state. Also, employers are saying, we need you in the office. And a lot of people say, we don't need to be in the office. So for those people that have to be in the office, that's cutting off your options. And then, okay, I'll come in the office, but how many times a week? And which leads me to another subject, which is exemptions. So now a lot of employers, including Massachusetts and many states, are saying you can let people go if you have a vaccination policy that says that we have a mandatory vaccination policy, or we will not hire somebody who's not vaccinated. And so there are a lot of issues coming up for that. But the original issue that comes are exemptions. Religious and medical. Medical, you have to prove, not from a chiropractor or not from an out-of-state medical doctor, but from your real treating physician, that there is a real medical reason where you're not taking a vaccine. And that's becoming less and less, Jeff, as the FDA guidelines come up and say it's safe. But you need to be able to do that. Secondly, if you have a medical exemption, can the employer accommodate? So, for example, if it's a CPA who's going to be who's going to be in a position where he has a medical note and exemption, can we accommodate him? Does he have to work on site anymore? Does he have to come in at all? Where is his workstation going to be, or his office going to be? That's an easy question, because a lot of firms, I was talking to a managing partner of a well-respected law firm the other day, a number of their attorneys are not going to come back in person anymore. They've proven that they can work remotely, they want it, and the firm supports that. But what about the receptionist, Jeff? What about the receptionists of major firms that have come back and they need a receptionist? Well, if the receptionist can be, and who's not vaccinated, if the receptionist can be in a position where they're maybe in a booth where it's away from people, or they can be remote and answer phones. But at the same time, if the firm really needs that frontline reception for people to come in there and they're exposed to the public and they are a frontline person with the packages, the organization, company, or firm may not be able to accommodate them. And if they can't accommodate them, then they can be terminated. So
isn't there something underlying about this? Because in organizations, when you're a leader, and I'm just trying to explain this maybe to employees who don't understand, leaders of organizations, especially entrepreneurs, they're looking to build culture. And in building culture, you want some kind of collegial similarity at some level culturally. It's not just about the skill set. So when you hear about somebody who doesn't want to comply with what's good for the greater good of an organization, it's not that they say they believe in COVID vaccines or don't believe. It's more about, is this person going to be difficult to fit into my team? Isn't that what it's really all about?
Well, in a lot of cases, you're right. So, for example, if the medical doesn't work, one of the other exemptions that of the second exemption is the religious exemption. And so the EEOC is saying you have to take it seriously for the religious exemption, but it's got to be a good faith exemption. Just believing or not wanting to do it or not being part of the team won't work. So again, the employer, if they go through the whole good faith exercise and it's really not a religious exemption, can terminate somebody or doesn't have to go through that process. But I agree with you. A lot of firms and organizations are saying, look, we'll even look at remote, we'll even look at hybrid, but start in the office so you can do some bonding, that you get to know the people, they can get integrated, because it's very, very tough not to be part of a team if you've never really met the people in person, that you don't have that connection.
No. I wait every week for my Mark Z moment. So I'm clearly on the Mark Z team. And I want to tell our listeners that, I had a client with a personnel issue late last week, and Mark Z through the weekend spun his wheels and really helped me. And this was not in the legal field. And I don't know how many people have connected with you over the years, but I don't know anybody as responsive. You may be actually overly responsive, since I got a late night one from you last night. But so if people are looking for your kind of assistance, and I can't see why not in this economy, how would they find you, superstar Mark Z?
Jeff, you're flattering me too much. But first of all, Google Mark Z, M-A-R-C, and the letter Z, and will come up, or markzlegal.com, MARCZLEGAL.com, or 617-338-1300.
And I remind everybody, this is the fabulous Mark Z on Radio Entrepreneurs, only seen here. And we will come back with more stories after this break.